All right, boys, the bye week is over. The Seattle Seahawks will be suiting up again tomorrow morning, and we're going to get another data point. So, 6 games into the season, the Seattle Seahawks are 3-3. They have won 3 games, they've lost 3 games, they have a 500 record. And to me, that's pretty fair. That's a pretty fair assessment of where they are right now as a team. Through 6 games, I think they have played about 500 football, but I think they have the potential to be significantly better than that over the last 10 games because we have found an identity. We have found a rhythm to our offense. We have found some stability in our defense. And it seems like it's possible that this team could actually put together a good second half and maybe push for 10 wins. So I've been, a little down on the team in many of the weeks so far this year just because I haven't been seeing the kinds of things that I like to see. But I think it's fair to say that this team has taken some real steps forward over the past couple weeks to the point where I can see it. I can actually see something being built here. A popular refrain among Seahawks fans right now is we would be 5-1 right now if we had just stuck to the run in the first 2 weeks of the season. If we had stuck to the run against Denver and Chicago, we would have won those games. I'll go halfway on that. Obviously, the Denver game is the one that got away, especially now when we see how bad Denver really is. Although they're really not that bad in Mile High, but that Bears game, I don't know. The Bears seem like they have a pretty good defense, although it's obviously had some rough games in the last 2 weeks. That might just be a defense that our offense is not going to be able to do much against, so I don't know about that. Plus, you got to remember, we didn't have Fluker in those first 2 games, and that was a big reason why we didn't run the ball as much and as effectively as we have the last 4 weeks, in my opinion, anyway. So, I'm not going to go that far, but I will say that if we played football over the last month if we played football in the first 2 weeks the way we played in the last month, I think we would have won one of those 2 games that we lost to start the year. So, hey, credit where credit is due. I mean, the offensive line, this bye week, one thing I've noticed, Seahawks fans, Seahawks pundits, everybody, they're all catching on, man. This offensive line is actually playing good. And that includes guys like Jermaine Ifedi, who was this close to being on the way out in Seattle, and now suddenly it looks like he's just getting it, guys. And I don't want to say give him a big time extension right now or anything, but he's looking like a quality NFL right tackle right now. And, I'll give all the credit to Solari for that, but whatever, I don't care. So that combined with, Dwayne Brown is still good. And of course, the monsters we have on the interior with Fluker, Sweezy, and Britt, it's a real good NFL offensive line. There's nothing else you can say. There's no excuse for anything on this offense to not work because the offensive line isn't getting it done. Now, the tragedy of all this is it really exposes how bad Tom Cable was, but can't do anything about that now, right? So, over this bye week, that's the one thing I've noticed. Everybody has really just completely caught on to the fact that this Seahawks offensive line is playing good football over the past month, basically. So, this game tomorrow, we get KJ right back, which is significant. I know that our run defense has been fine in the last several games. I know that we haven't necessarily missed KJ a ton, but I know he's better than Kalitro and Shaquem, so that's not a small thing. We're getting Ed Dixon back, which is a big deal because the tight end position was just a big black hole with Will Dissly out. I know we got a little bit out of Vanette, but for me, getting Dixon back, even though I'm not a big Ed Dixon fan, that's a big deal. And basically, our injury report right now, except for Rasheem Green, who might actually play tomorrow, it's clean, guys. We have nothing to complain about on the injury front right now. We'll see where we are after tomorrow, of course, but right now, it's pretty clean. Shamar Stephen did actually show up on the injury report this week with a foot injury, but even he looks like he's just going to go tomorrow and is going to be totally fine. So it looks good right now. And we're playing a Detroit team that, look, I'm a little concerned about our defense because our defense has not played a quarterback like Matt Stafford yet this year. I know some people are going to say Jared Goff, but I really think that Jared Goff, even that's a little different. Jared Goff is not a gunslinger like Matt Stafford is yet, in my opinion. I know Goff's played great so far this year. I know Goff's made a lot of good plays. I know Goff is doing good things in the NFL right now, and you might even say that he's better than Stafford, but Stafford's going to sling the ball around in a way that even Jared Goff, in my opinion, doesn't do. So our defense, which has played well lately, they've gone up against guys like Derek Carr. They've gone up against guys like Josh Rosen, Case Keenum, Mitch Trubisky. Now those guys get to earn their stripes because Matt Stafford is not a guy who's just going to sit back there and take sacks. He's not a guy who's just going to check it down the whole game. He's not a guy who's going to be afraid to push it down the field. Matt Stafford is a full-bore gunslinger, and this defense, which does have some deficiencies, is going to have their hands full. We need a pass rush. We need the secondary to play good. We need everything to be on deck, because if we make mistakes, Matthew Stafford is a quarterback who will make us pay. I know he's not the best quarterback in the league, but he is a guy who can make you pay. It's not going to be like we played Dak Prescott and he just wasn't willing to push the ball down the field unless circumstances were absolutely perfect. It's not like a Josh Rosen who is just going to kind of be scared to be out there. Nothing like that. So we have to deal with that. We have to deal with his three good wide receivers, Golden Tate, Kenny Golladay, and Marvin Jones Jr. All those three guys can make plays. And I don't think we've faced a wide receiver core that good this year, unless you count the Rams guys. And honestly, I think the Lions guys on the whole are probably a little better. I think the Rams guys benefit from scheme, and I think the Lions guys are just a little more talented. And now you've also got this Kerryon Johnson guy who, unfortunately, it seems like the Lions have caught on to the fact that he's their best running back by far. I wish they would give the ball to LeGarrette Blount, because I got no fear of a guy like that. But Kerryon Johnson can play at a high level, and it seems like Detroit's finally starting to figure out what they have in Kerryon Johnson. So this defense is going to face a unique test, and it would not surprise me if we give some stuff up tomorrow. When we have the ball, though, we are facing the league worst run defense, and we have shown over the past couple weeks that we are ready and willing to run the ball against anybody with whatever running back we may have. And for the last 4 games, we have had tremendous success running the ball. It has gotten better every week, seemingly. And I, of course, would not expect that to stop against a team like the Lions, that they haven't been able to stop the run all year. But they did go out and do a little something this week that makes me pause. They did trade for Damon Harrison from the Giants, a 30-year-old defensive tackle who is a run-stuffing extraordinaire. And I know that these other NFL teams are watching tape. They know what the Seahawks like to do right now. We run, 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 run. So I know that they're going to go out there and throw everything they have at stopping our run, and they're going to make us, attack Darius Slay, who's a really good cornerback in the NFL right now. They're going to make us try to, throw the ball down the field and test our, as of right now, flawed wide receiver core, because Doug Baldwin, he seems like he's doing better now, but we know he's not 100% because he's told us he's not 100%. And at some point in this game, we are going to have to make some throws down the field, and we are going to have to score points to keep up, because I really think that Lions offense is going to be able to move the ball on our D. I think our defense, it's played well so far. I have no problem with what they've done so far this year, but it's not going to be like it was against some of these lesser quarterbacks. So I need to see this offense be able to keep up. I think they will. I think we win, but we don't have the same margin for error. We do not have that margin for error. We can't take the first quarter off. We can't take the first half off, or we're going to get buried early. So expecting a big win, this is the kind of game that you have to win if you want the Seahawks to do anything meaningful in the second half of the year to where they're competing for a playoff spot. All right, guys. I'm feeling a little under the weather in case it's not obvious, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to watch the end of these college games and head off, but go Hawks. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's a unique and interesting test for the boys. Expecting to win, but expecting a challenge from the Lions. See you guys later.